Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. It's Erev Sukkot. Sukkot begins tonight. It's been an honor to come together for 4.5+ years, sharing Torah and lifting each other up, saying good morning to people like Penny. Good morning, Penny. It's broadcast 1158. Adele and Adrian, Susie, it's good to see you. Hi, Iris. Carl and Barry, Linda, Boker Tov. Good to see everyone. Let's see who else is here so we can greet each other, learn some Torah, and get ready for Sukkot as a community. Shari, good to see you. Amy and Linda, hi. Hope everyone is doing well. Dale, Cecile, Boker Tov, my friends. Sharon, hi. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody on my screen. Jonathan, hope you are doing well too, my friend. Okay, while we are waiting to see everybody, let's take a breath, get ready for a bracha. Deborah and Arlene. Arlene, your nephew is getting married on Sunday. Mazel tov, you're in Texas. Carry us with you. Cassandra, Boker Tov. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's right. Sukkot dinner, birthday dinner in the sukkah. That's nice. All right. Jack and Sandy, welcome everybody. Minna and Natalie, Mindy, Boker Tov. Hi, Barbara. Let's sing a bracha, everybody. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for sharing all of your smachot, all of your joyful moments to birthdays and to weddings, and especially since we're all sharing it to Sukkot. There is something really important about being mindful in general, but specifically today. Sukkot begins the Chag, just as it did last year. That precipitated a very, very dark day, the darkest day in Jewish history since the Shoah, since the Holocaust. Now, that's not the trajectory of my comments today. But for so many people, this Chag is making us appropriately recall last year and how we entered Sukkot last year completely unaware of what was coming. And we have been transformed in and out. Some of us, our entire worldview has shifted. For so many, especially our sisters and brothers in Israel, where Judy is right now in Tel Aviv. Bless you, my sister, for sharing our Torah in the air there. I feel myself feeling Tel Aviv around me. Thank you for that gift. And so, how do we do it? How do we do it? We've asked this question countless times over the year. How do we do Sukkot? How do we do Pesach? How do we do Shavuot? How do we do any of these holidays? There is a bare level of fulfillment that I think we should feel already. And then I think there's an elevated approach that we might cull from tradition to help us understand what joy looks like now. The bare level, I said this to someone who was leading prayers in the community where I was blessed to be for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. He and I were taking turns leading the tefillot. And he said something really important to me. He said, next year we'll be able to look back and tell each other and say, we did Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur last year. That's the bare level of fulfillment. Which means, how do you do the Chag? Well, do the Chag. You might be asking, how do I feel? How do I process? How do I emotionally journey through this Chag? But actually, there are levels of experience that even the rabbi spoke about thousands of years ago. Do mitzvot, do the commandments, require kavanah, require intention. Because if they do, I need to be emotionally and spiritually grounded with intention here. But if they do not, and this might be the more compassionate perspective, if they do not require kavanah, then here we are, friends, doing what we do, and we can look back and say we did it. And that's actually a lot. That's no small thing. Because generations from now will look back at this moment, the year after October 7th, and will they be able to say, my ancestors kept the holidays alive? They might say, I don't know how they felt, but they kept our traditions alive. That's an obligation, friends, for all of us. I've seen beautiful reflections on this from friends in Israel, including Yossi Klein Halevi, who is in the heart of the struggle, who speaks regularly, teaches regularly. His podcast with Daniel Hartman called For Heaven's Sake, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Yossi sent a picture on social media of his sukkah. He built his sukkah. That's heroic. Living forward through time is heroic, and it is a basic level of fulfillment. As Sunday just quoted the Nike logo, just do it. That's the bare level. But then there's an additional level. The additional level is the experience, the mindful experience. Maybe even being brave enough to allow joy in. It doesn't erase the pain or the sadness. It can't erase the trauma that is embedded in our psyches. Trauma doesn't go anywhere, but we learn how to regulate ourselves and live with it, but not within it. There's a beautiful teaching that my new teacher, who I have really come to learn a lot from, Rabbi Dr. Matthew Goldstone. So some of you know that I helped publish a book called These Holy Days, a holiday supplement after October 7th, and I co-edited this with Dr. Ora Horn-Prauser, a dear friend of mine. This was published by the Academy for Jewish Religion, and people submitted ways of thinking about each holiday, its rituals, its values, its ideas, and Rabbi Goldstone shared a text that I had never seen before from the Tosefta. It's an ancient text, one of the levels of rabbinic learning. And I want to read to you what this Tosefta says. And again, I didn't find this myself. I owe Rabbi Goldstone a big debt of gratitude. This is what it says, 2,000 years ago. If a person does not have an etrog for Sukkot, so if you're not familiar, an etrog is the citron. It looks like a lemon. We hold a lulav, the palm frond, with myrtle and with willow, and an etrog. We hold them together, the four species in our hands. And an etrog is beautiful to look at and smells beautiful. If a person does not have an etrog for Sukkot, they should not take a pomegranate, an apple, nor something else. If the four species that you have are withered, they are fit. If they are dried out, they are not fit, meaning you can use suboptimum stuff to fulfill the mitzvah. You can't replace it. If you don't have an etrog, you can't use a pomegranate or an apple. It has to be an etrog. But listen to this. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees with the first teaching. If they are dried out, if they are dried out, they are fit, which means if they are withered or dried out, at least some rabbis say, it might not be the best, but do it. Do the mitzvah with the right thing. Just do it, even if it's dried out. Now listen to the way it continues, because this is where it gets very important. There was a case involving the people of a walled city who bequeathed their lulavs to their children in case of sha'at hadchak, of exceptional circumstances. So understand what this is saying. There was a case where people who lived in a protected area, walled cities are for protection, and just in case things got bad, they gave their descendants their lulav and etrog as an inheritance. Things weren't bad, but they knew from their history that things could be bad. So they gave their children their lulav and etrog just in case, which means it would have been withered, it would have been dried out. And we know that some rabbis say that withered or dried out lulav and etrog is acceptable. So perhaps they were doing what they were allowed to do. Speaking of children, hi Ariel, my child is here. They said to him, meaning the rabbis said to the person who presented this case, exceptional circumstances do not count as proof. You cannot live your lives. Now let me translate it to modern. This is now my language, not the Tosefta's language. We cannot live our lives presuming, projecting, and transmitting scarcity, big walls, withered tradition. No. The bare level of fulfilling these holidays, including Sukkot, is fulfilling Sukkot. Build a sukkah, get lulav and etrog, go to shul, sing, eat, share with friends and family. Don't just do it, do it. The higher level, which we have access to, friends, is not to live a just-in-case kind of Judaism. It's insufficient for our children and our children's children to only go through the mitzvot mechanically. Now, do I judge anyone? Our sisters and brothers all over the world, especially in Israel. Especially in Israel. Right now, would we judge anyone for even not doing the mitzvah? I saw someone write about how if you don't have it within you to build a sukkah in your space, build a sukkah in your heart this year. I find that to be incredibly meaningful. No judgment, only compassion, only understanding. But from a place of teaching, from a place of ideas, I offer this. This year, this Sukkot, this is where we were last year, before we knew. This is the last holiday we had before that dark day. Compassion. But we are obligated by our descendants and by our ancestors who went through terrible things too. Not like us, and ours is not like theirs, but we are called, friends, to go into the sukkah, build it, dwell in it, let the rain touch you, look at the moon and the stars, let the shade from the sun be of comfort, invite someone else to have tea with you in the sukkah, take your lulav and etrog into your sukkah, go into your sukkah, invite the ushbeizin and the ushbeizot, the mystical guests from the past. Invite those we've lost to sit with you in the sukkah. Offer your joy, offer your love. The sukkah is required by tradition to have 2.5 walls. Most people build it with 3.5, but 2.5. And tradition has always suggested if you use your arm to make the walls of the sukkah with the opening right here between your body and your hand, that actually the sukkah is an embrace, being hugged by the sukkah. It's not only fulfillment of a mitzvah, and it is that, and it's not only the emotionality of stepping into the ritual framework that is meant to provide and provoke joy, no matter what's going on. It is also to receive love from the universe, to receive comfort from God, maybe. Now, in this permeable structure, we might continue the conversation we've been having with God throughout the holidays. Not only this year, but especially this year. And it might not only include gentle moments, but have that conversation. When I say Ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, God provide over us a sukkah of shalom, a sukkah of peace, sometimes I get very animated recently when I say such words. God, come on, provide for us a sukkah of peace. All of our sisters and brothers in the north who are enduring hundreds of missiles every day and have done so since October 7th of last year. 80,000 people still dislocated, children not able to go to school. What about the families of the hostages? How can I feel joy when this is still real? Well, how will I be able to face tomorrow if I don't feel a little bit of joy? How can I be there for our loved ones, for their families? If I don't sustain myself, my family, my community, how will my children's children look back at this day? If I don't muster the courage to feel a little bit of joy even today. Generations from now, people will look back and they will say, what was the year after? How did you do that? How did you have the holiday? They will not say, how dare you have the holiday? They will say, how were you able? And we will most likely say something like this. So imagine we're talking to our future children's children or students, or through our writings we'll communicate this. Friends, we will say something like this. I don't really know. All I knew was that it doesn't end with me. All I knew is that Sukkot had to happen that year. We have to have Sukkot. We have to have lulav and etrog. And like the Tosefta says, we might not say that then, but like the Tosefta says, if you have a lulav and etrog and it is dried out and withered, and you can't get a new one, use what you've got. Make that count. But you can't do it like that by choice. I can't hand my children a withered lulav and etrog, my children's children a withered tradition. I cannot, I should not, and I will not. I believe in this moment, friends, we are called to be courageous enough to taste some joy again. Our ancestors did that. We have to. As Beth just wrote, oh, Beth, thank you for that. They tried to bury us, but they didn't realize that we are seeds. I remember that phrase. Thank you. May you have some joy this Sukkot. May you say Chag Sameach to someone else, and may someone say it to you. Even if it's complicated. Of course it's complicated. But Simcha is your right. I would even say, Simcha, joy, is a mitzvah. Joy is a mitzvah, friends. V'samachta b'chagecha, be happy on your holidays. Give yourself that gift. Give yourself a Chag Sameach. We're not done with this fight, but we are alive doing the fighting. And one day, someone will tell the story of a people so strong and beautiful and resilient and determined and hopeful that they projected a positive path even in the midst of emerging from darkness. Let that be the way we are described by our children's children. Let's sing our way into Chag, my friends. Kol hod b'leva pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. Chag Sameach, my friends. See you on Monday.